Recently, I went home to visit my parents for the weekend. On Sunday, as is traditional, we visited one of the local Catholic churches with my aunt and uncle. At the service, there was a children's choir. I was informed by my aunt, who happens to be a teacher at the school, that the choir was intended to serve as the start to Catholic Schools Week. That term was vaguely familiar, calling to mind a week of extraordinarily boring activities, usually wrapped up with a Friday visit from the bishop of the diocese and his epic pointy hat for a 2-hour-plus mass, which is exactly as much fun as it sounds. The priest who was presiding over the mass couldn't help but notice the regular adult choir had been replaced with an all-children's version. Now, there were many alternatives from which he could choose to acknowledge their presence to the congregation, ranging from the standard, "It's nice to see and hear the middle school choir has joined us this fine morning," to the more colloquial and infinitely more controversial, "Hey, would you give these young punks up here a listen? They sound like the voices of angels this morning." But unfortunately, the presiding priest didn't choose any of the available options and instead chose this gem of a sentence to acknowledge the presence of the 20 or so 11 to 14-year-olds a few yards away. He said, "It is not often that I have a large group of children at my feet staring eagerly up at me." At which point, all whispered conversations ceased, and an ear-splitting and ubiquitous silence fell upon the church, broken not even by the priest, who seemed all too aware that he had said something very, very wrong. After 30 seconds, or maybe 30 years as it seemed, the silence was broken when a youngish man from the back of the congregation shouted, "Too soon!" and walked out of the church to the sounds of his own footsteps and the stifled laughter of those with a sense of humour. Best mass ever.
Oh, that's a great email. Oh, very good.